Why did you let me love you? Why did you let me fall? When it's plain to see that you don't see me at all. I need your love so badly. I love you all so madly. But I don't stand a ghost of a chance with you. I thought at last I'd found you. Other loves surround you, and I don't stand a ghost of a chance with you. If you'd surrender for just a tender kiss or two, you might discover that I'm the lover meant for you, and I'd be true. What's the use of dreaming? I know it's only scheming. I don't stand a ghost of a chance with you. If you'd surrender for just a tender kiss or two, you might discover that I'm the lover meant for you. Oh, what's the use of dreaming? I know I'm only scheming, and I don't stand a ghost of a chance with you.
I'm not interacting.
Okay. Well, that became less spooky just in the middle. I'm going to move the camera angle down and then carry on. There we go. In the cool of the evening, where everything is getting kind of groovy, I'll call you up and ask you if you'd like to go with me and see a movie. But first you say no, you got plans for the night. Then you stop and say, alright. Now love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you. One thing you know, I never seem to know what you are thinking. And if a fella looks at you, it might show your little eye will be a winking. I get confused cause I don't know where I stand. And then you stop and hold my hand. Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you. Saxophone break. I could hear it. Now, if someday you like to stop this funky little game that you've been playing, I tell you all the things that my heart has wanted to be saying. Just like a ghost, you've been haunting my dreams, so I propose on Halloween. Now, love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you. Spooky, spooky, I say spooky, spooky. No, never was a dancer. Just trying to give that, yeah. Doesn't look the same coming out of me as Michael Jackson. But then, what has Michael Jackson done lately? No, I'm not going to play Thriller. Now then, do I have a flat pick? I don't even know if I want a flat pick. What's next? Oh, I certainly don't need a flat pick for this. Here we go. I hold your hand in mine, dear. I press it to my lips. I take a healthy bite from your dainty fingertips. My joy would be complete, dear. I'm skipping right to the end. But that's the way my mind works. Not straight lines, lots of bends. I'm sorry, no. I'm gonna noodle a bit and just get my brain back on track with this song. The night you died, I cut it off. It's the hand. When we sing a song about a hand, I hold your hand in mine. Okay. Just didn't know if you were still on track as I had become on track. All right, back to our story. This is the way you watch stuff on TV all the time. Fast forward. The night you died, I cut it off. I really don't know why. For now, each time I kiss it, I get bloodstains on my tie. My joy would be complete, dear, for our love was something fine. Until they come to get me, I will hold your hand in mine. I moved in my new house today. Was a lot of work, but I got squared away. And the chains was rattling loud. I said, I moved in a haunted house, but I made up my mind to stay. There ain't nothing gonna drive me all the way. Just then I see something give me the creep. Had one big eye and two big feet. I took right still and I did the freeze. He did the stroll right up to me. Made a sound with his feet like the boys of the drum. Said, you be here when the morning comes. Yes, I'll be here when the morning comes. I stay right here and I ain't gonna run. I bought my house and I am bold. Ain't no hand gonna make my blood run cold. In the kitchen my stove was a-blazing hot. Coffee was boiling in the pot. I had a hunk of raw meat in my hand, and the grease was melting in the pan. From outer space there came a man, sat down right with them pots and pans. Say, that's hot, I began to shout. He drank hot coffee right from the spout. He drank the grease out of the pan. Ate up that meat right out of my hand. And he said to me, oh wow, you better run and don't be here when the morning comes. But I'll be here when the morning comes. No, I ain't gonna run. I bought my house and I am bold. No hand gonna make my blood run cold. Yes, I'll be here when the morning comes. I stay right here, no ain't gonna run. I bought my house and I am bold. No hand gonna make the blood run cold. Yes, Gene Simmons, The Haunted House. Gosh, I wish I'd written that. I wish I had the royalties from that. I wish I had the royalties from that back in 1961 and put it in the bank and still had it there and wrote out all the roller coastery things. And I would have lots of money. And I could afford music lessons. Okay, what we got? Ah! That's right. See this thing here? Somehow it doesn't look as big in that picture as it does. Like, oh man. We're guessing that it's like 80 pounds. Now it was the variety that goes up to 300 or 400 pounds, but we didn't go there. We didn't feed it milk. They like milk. I'm stalling while I'm belching after I drank my water. Okay. In the Tower of London lodges life. The ghost of Anne Boleyn walks, they declare. For Anne Boleyn was once King Henry's wife, until he had the Edmund Barber air. He did her in not many years ago. and she comes back at night to tell him so. Now some percentage of you gotta know this chorus all together now. With the red tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. Sometimes gay King Henry gives a spread for all his gals and pals of royal brew. The headsman carves the joint and cuts the bread. Then in comes Anne Boleyn to queer the do. She holds her head up with a wild war whoop. That's you. Ooh. And Henry cries, this is me, don't drop it in the soup! With the red tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. The sentries think that it's a football that she carries in. When they've had a few, they say, is Army going to win? They think that it's Red Grange instead of poor old Anne Boleyn, with her head tucked underneath her arm. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. She's looking for King Henry, she means giving him what for. She's bound to tell him off for the spilling of her gore. Yeah. And just in case the headsman wants to give her an encore, she's got her head tucked underneath her arm. Underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. One night she caught King Henry, he was in the canteen bar. Says he, are you Jane Seymour, Anne Boleyn, or Catherine Parr? For how, the sweet St. Marianne, can I see who you are, with your head tucked underneath your arm? With your head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. Oh. Henry! Henry, come out! I know you're in there. All right, that was the general introductory 5 tunes. Now we're going to do the standard creature songs. And here's the first. I suppose I'll do them in that order. Why not? Yes. No, I'll do that. Okay. Don't mind my talking to myself. It's not senility. I've been doing it for decades. Decades. I just have to remember to talk to myself more stentoriously. Stentoraneously? Louder! I was drinking in a dive in Cairo, wrong side of the Nile. Yeah, when a sheikh and a rake and a long black snake, they come in the door in a single file. Well, the sheikh immediately started making an arms deal, while the rake was practicing his best leer. And the reptile smiled without any guile and slithered round, catching beers. Then came a clatter and commotion. spotlights stabbing all around. It was a chopper with a hopper full of Interpol coppers. I said, oh, something must be going down. Well, I ran right out in the desert, was just to get away from the place. There was sand on demand on every hand, and I tripped on a mummy case. Ew. Now the case was the shape of a pharaoh, black as an obsidian cup. I got Jones in my bones for some scarab stones. I said, hey, maybe I'll just open her up. Ooh, so I fiddled the hasp with my church key. The hinges screamed right out loud, and hoping the purse would come first. Way before the curse, I tore away the shroud. A dust cloud rose from the pharaoh, and once it blew away, ain't no fib that his nibs was flashing his ribs. And I thought I heard somebody say, no meat on the mummy. That's what the hot wind moans. Said, no meat on the mummy. It's just bones, bones, bones. But I was kind of afraid old King Tut there might want to stand up and sit right up and offer to shake hands, so I determined to sashay. Skedaddled all rattled up the creek with a paddle, though I could hear it all of the way. Ain't no meat on the mummy. That's what the hot wind moans. No meat on the mummy, just bones, bones, bones. Well, I bombed right back by the busy barroom, boys. I begged Big Bad Bob for a brew, and all the bells and skells, they was on their cells, texting everybody they knew. No meat on the mummy. That's what the hot wind moans. No meat on the mummy. Just bones, bones, bones. No meat on the mummy. That's what the hot wind moans. No meat on the mummy. Honey, just bones, bones, bones. Standard monster number 2. I'm going to like it. I was threatening to change these strings, but I never quite got to it. And I was thinking about doing it today, and I said, oh, no, you don't. I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking the streets of Soho in the rain, looking for a place called Li Chao Fu, just to get a big dish of beef chow mein all together. Oh, Werewolves of London. Oh, oh, Werewolves of London. Oh. Howling round your kitchen door, or you better not let him in. Little old lady got herself mutilated late last night. Werewolves of London again. Ow. Ow. Werewolves of London. Ow. There's a hairy-handed gent who ran amok in Kent. Lately he's been overheard in Mayfair. Stay away from him, he'll rip your lungs out, Jim. Oh, I'd like to meet his tailor. Yes, I saw a werewolf walking with the Queen. Doing the Werewolves of London. Saw Lon Chaney Jr. walking with Lady Di. Doing the Werewolves of London. I saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's. His hair was perfect. Ah! Ow! Werewolves of London. Ow! Ow! Werewolves of London. Ow! Ow! Werewolves of London. Ow!
Howling about that.
Was you all howling? Is that what the report is? Okay.
Diane Gordon joined.
Okay, that's very good. Howling is one of the things performing live. It's one of the easiest ways to get people to start singing along. Actually, you do a howling song. I know several. They're fun. They're all fun. It's fun to howl. Ow!
Gail spells that A-O-O-O.
Ah-ooh. Ah-ooh. Yes, okay. And now, your next standard monster song. Zombie Jamboree was held in a New York cemetery. Zombie Jamboree was held in Long Island, the cemetery. Zombies from all parts of the island, some of them great Calypsonian. And since the season was carnival, they got together in Bacchanal. Back to back, belly to belly, well I don't give a damn, 'cause I done it already. Back to back, belly to belly at the Zombie Jamboree. One female zombie would not behave. She says she wants me to be her slave. One hand she's holding a quart of wine, the other she's pointing that she'll be mine. Oy vey! I said, oh no, I got to run. The husband of the zombie, that's no fun. She said, oh now my turtle dove, we're gonna make you some zombie love. What you doing now? Back to back, belly to belly, will it do the damn, who's it done already? Back to back, belly to belly at the Zombie Jamboree. Just then she raised her feet. She said, I get you now, my sweet. I make you call me turtle dove. I say, oh no, no, you get back, you lie. You will see when you kiss this dead zombie. Ah, I never see such a horror in my life. Hey, can you imagine me with this zombie? Don't say it. Back to back, belly to belly, well, don't give it then, 'cause I done it already. Back to back, belly to belly at the Zombie Jamboree. Back to back, belly to belly, well, I don't give a damn, 'cause I done it already. Back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. Back to back, belly to belly, well I don't give a damn cause I done did already. Back to back, belly to belly at the zombie jamboree. Yes. And now, the getting consumed portion of the show. I'm saving Beware of the Blob for next year because it's like two kind of jazz riffs put together. I expended all of my staving off Alzheimer's. You learn new stuff and you get exercise. We brought our pumpkin and several kinds of squash supply in, and we're going to be saving some and canning some, and we're going to be at that pretty ferociously. But I saved the other thing about, well, Alzheimer's is supposed to get exercise. I got exercise. I got pumpkin exercise, and you learn something new. I learned 2 new chords, and it was stressful. That was a lot of work. Where's the button on this thing? Stop. Help. I can't find the off button on my tuner. I don't have to continue to tune. I mean, if I do, I'll turn it on again, but
Talking very softly.
I'm talking softly again. I do. I'm going to pull this in here so that I can have dynamic levels. I hope you can hear me. Shouldn't be a whole lot of, competition. By the way, headphones are great for listening to stuff. When I want to listen to one of these back, I try to use the phones because you can hear much better than you can over computer speakers. Okay, that was my technical advice, and now saying is that I learned to play Spooky, kind of. I got through Spooky. Let's put it that way. 3 weeks ago, I started working on it, and if I keep working on it, I'll get it down, and then maybe I'll have to play it again. Okay, well, the Blob is going to be even more challenging because there's not much to it. It's sort of that 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 except it's it's jazz chords, and we'll see about that. And it is, by the way, Bacharach and David's actual first song. It was not only Steve McQueen's first movie, but their first song. It didn't show a lot of promise. Beware of the blob. It creeps and crawls and slides across the walls and up the floor and swallows you and absorbs you and melts you on down, but not before you're seen screaming inside of it by half the whole town. Wow, wow, wow. You can tell I'm not ready to perform the Blob, but I have 2 other such tunes. I was going to give you the dumb one first, but this is the one that was the hit song. We have another one written by me, which is very clever, but it hasn't earned any royalties. So help me. If you aren't old enough to remember this, you may not believe this was a hit song, but yeah. You better watch out for the eggplant that ate Chicago, for he may eat your city soon. You better watch out for the eggplant that ate Chicago, for he may eat your city soon. He came from outer space looking for something to eat. He landed in Chicago. He thought Chicago was a treat. It was sweet. It was just like sugar. Ooh, you better watch out for the eggplant that ate Chicago, for he may eat your city soon. I said he came from outer space looking for something to eat. He landed in Chicago. He thought Chicago was sweet, just a treat. It was just like sugar. You better watch out for the eggplant that ate Chicago. Oh, he may fly down over the moon. You know, they say that the eggplant was looking kind of peaked. That some people have been positing that it should be fed more often. Some people even think that the eggplant should eat daily. There you go. Here's the clever one. It's much less popular. Supper time on the Amazon, when you are dining afloat. So easy to catch, so easy to fix, as long as you stay in the boat. Throw the cow in the water, just one little bit at a time. Sometimes we season with peanut butter, and sometimes we season with lime. Soon Mr. Fish comes swimming up hot. What happens next you can guess. He said to himself, should I bite this or not? If he's a piranha, the answer is yes. They're singing this song on the river when they are down in Peru. Some days you eat the piranha, some days the piranha eat you. So you were eating piranha. Nobody gives you a wreath. Quit bragging and pass me the ketchup and remember to spit out the teeth. Singing this song on the river when you were down in Peru. Some days you eat the piranha, some days the piranha eat you. Maybe you're having piranha. Maybe you don't even know. Many things made from piranha because it tastes just like pollo. They're singing the song on the river when they're down in Peru. Some days you eat the piranha, some days the piranha eat you. Singing the song on the river when they're down in Peru. Some days you eat the piranha, someday, the piranha eat you.
Dorothy loves it.
Beg pardon?
Dorothy loves our song.
Well, she ought to. She was there at the inception.
And so was I
That's
when the
right.
fish landed in my lap.
Oh, when the fish fell in my lap. Yes, we wonder if Dorothy and Don remember the fish falling when it jumped out of the Amazon and came down in Sally's lap, and we couldn't do anything about it instantly until we cleared with Roberto whether that was an okay fish to pick up, because one of the first fish in the boat was a gorgeous little catfish, about 4 to 6 inches long, gorgeous, beautiful, and he said, "Don't touch it." So I couldn't capture this fish from Sally's lap, and nobody else better had, until I made sure it was okay to catch. And another time, Sally caught a stonefish, brought it up out of the water, and was kind of swinging it around, not intentionally, but she hadn't really. It was doing this around the boat while one of the boat hands was trying to capture it before it bumped into my leg. Okay, didn't happen. Okay, now, I left out a consumption song. There were 3. Okay, here's the other one. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. And I don't like it one bit. Ho, ho, ho. Stupid little thing. It's just got my toe. Oh, what a chuckle. It's got my toe and it's up to the first knuckle. Oh, this really is starting to rankle. It's up to my ankle. Oh, gee, it's up to my knee. There's another slip. It swallowed my hips. Oh, fiddle. It's up to my middle. I better not say that one. It's up to my armpits. Ah, heck. It's up to my neck. Oh, Red. It swallowed my... And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Revenant portion of our show. It's surprising how many Revenants are pretty spooky. This is like dead people, and they get to come back and visit until the cock crows, and then they have to go away to wherever they go to. If you want to read a really creepy story about it, if you've not ever read The Monkey's Paw by Saki, you want to read that, but like with the lights on, daytime. Now that is a story. Okay, it's kind of a Revenant story, but there's no such song, so here we are. Revenants. Where was I down that list? There we go. Okay. Johnny promised to marry her. She fears he's with some fair one and gone. There's something that ails the man, she don't know what it is. She's weary of lying alone. Johnny came at the appointed hour, tapped on the window so slow. This fair maid arose and she hurried on her clothes, bid her true love welcome home. Ah, she took him by the hand and she laid him down, felt he was as cold as the clay. She said, my dearest dear, if I only had my wish, this long night would never turn to day. Where is your soft bed of down, my dear? Where is your white Holland sheet? And where the fair maid watches over you as you lie in your long dreamless sleep? Oh, the sea is my soft bed of down, my dear. Sand is my white Holland sheet. The long hungry worms, they do feed off my bones as I lie every night in the deep. And when will I see you again, she cried. Oh, when will I see you again? Not till little fishes fly, and the waters do run dry, and the hard rocks all melt in the sun. When little fishes fly, and the waters do run dry, and hard rocks all melted in the sun. My mother was a remarkable gal. She wouldn't do stuff, and then she'd get a notion to do it, and she'd just do it. Okay? If that makes sense, I'll give you an example. Her idea of cooking dinner was pretty much a couple of frozen chicken breasts with a can of condensed cream of mushroom soup spooned over them and put in the oven for 45, 50 minutes. But we did have this marvelous cookbook. It was a Time Life thing. It was a coffee table book, and it showed cooking and recipes from around the world. And just every so often, she'd thumb through it and say, I'm going to make that. And she would. Well, my dad brought the guitar in the house. 1955, I would be 8 years old. And he learned to play and sing folk songs, and we would do that at home of an evening now and again. And then we went camping. He'd bring it out around the campfire. People would come from other little campfires over, and we'd have a sing around. Well, at some stage, my mother says, I really like this song. I'm going to learn to play it on the guitar. And my dad showed her the chords, and she learned that song. She eventually learned 2 songs, but she didn't learn to play the guitar. She just learned to play these 2 songs on the guitar. It never generalized. She just did stuff. She was very capable. She was also in Mensa, which I did not achieve. I never took the test because I'm of that generation where they took your IQ for reasons when you were like 4 years old. So I knew that I was a sub-Mensa person, but she was a Mensa. Okay. And she used to drive Ray Bradbury to his appointments because he was a technophobe. Okay, so this is one of, and I thought my mother's 2 songs were as boring as they could be, just by the way. And one of them was, love, oh, careless love. Love, oh, careless love. Love, oh, careless love. You see what careless love has done. And I don't even know where she would have heard that song. I've never heard that song anyplace but her.
I heard it.
Yes, okay. Can you associate it with an artist?
No.
It seems like it could even be an Elvis tune very early.
No.
Or Patsy Cline. Or Rosemary Clooney.
That's an old folk song.
It's an old folk song.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you've been around some old folks in your life. All right. Well, anyway, it was that. And then the other one was, deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Get any idea? Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. It was Willie what got drowned in the deep blue sea. Later in life, I come across the island version of the song, which had not been boulderized. And there's just a change of 2 syllables. One of them might be in the lighter, I'm not sure. Just 2 words. And it became another song. And I'm going to do some of this with you. I presume I want you to sing along because then you can hear some harmony. This is one of those songs that if you've got a crowd singing and they will spread the harmonies out, it's just one of those songs. But I will be doing it alone. And most of the words to it are deep blue sea. So I'll give you a couple verses and you'll see that it's an entirely different thing. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep sea, baby, deep blue sea. It was Willie, walked up drowned from the deep blue sea. Dig his grave with a silver spade. Dig his grave with a silver spade. Dig his grave with a silver spade. It was Willie, walked up drowned from the deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. It was Willie, walked up drowned from the deep blue sea. Now, if you're still doing this, one more a cappella. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. It was Willie, walked up drowned from the deep blue sea.
We got a lot of background on Careless Love. It was actually a 19th century ballad.
Okay.
Also done Dixieland, done by Odetta, done by Leadbelly, done by a lot of folks.
That doesn't explain to me where you heard it. When did you hear it? Like as a tot or as a...
When I was learning to play guitar.
Okay. I guess that's legal. Okay. I used to have these paperback books back of the ilk where the pages all fell out after you read them 5 or 10 or 50 times. It was like, you know, cowboy songs of the Americas and famous folk songs and, yeah, songs of the Carolinas. There's, you know, I've still got them someplace in all their deep-aged glory. Well now, what is on our list? Where are we? Okay, we have a few tunes left, and I'm going to sing you another Revenant ballad. That was 2 Revenant ballads. Here's the third one, which I played for you 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it is one of mine. It's not very authentic. See? No flat pick. Nothing up here. Nothing up here. We have nothing up here. Oh, that 5th grade humor. Too fast. Johnny Brown, his rest assured. I just pulled a popular phrase out of my head. Rest assured. You can rest assured that this is a not very restful song, at least not for Johnny Brown. Oh, Johnny Brown, his rest disturbed, awoke in the dead of night. Saw Hephzibah, his own betrothed, and she was dressed in white. Hephzibah, he cried aloud, who thus, you look so pale and fair, but gouts of blood and roots and soil are mingled in your hair. Oh, Johnny dear, my erstwhile love, how could you sleep so sound, whilst I am up on the top of the ridge about 2 foot underground? Oh, Hephzibah, he cried, aghast, how came you to be dead? By day I held you safe in my arms, by night you were safe in your bed. Innocent. Oh, Johnny dear, Oh, now all the while you dreamt of me, I was not yours to have. I have strayed, and now I'm laid with both feet in the grave. Oh, he dressed and he rode to the top of the ridge, where he found it was half true. Out of the ground stuck her pretty little foot, shod with a dainty shoe. Oh, Hephzibah, he cried, who thus did bury you? And her shade in the river and the wind replied, it was a meaner man than you. So he rode on down to the mining town, where the drinking men around abound. And there at the bar stood Jack LaFar. Johnny looked no more around. And Johnny threw his armful back, and a missile he let fly. Threw it straight at Jack LaFar and struck him between the eyes. Jack LaFar knelt down to see what missile struck his head. He beheld the shoe of Hephzibah, and he fell to the floor stone dead. The Ballad of Hephzibah, spelled with both H's. Three H's. McClellan gave her a last name. It makes it so much more authentic. Sometime remind me to tell you about how I took a very non-authentic song to a song contest at a maritime sailing thing, a folk thing, and was run out on a rail with tar and fish scales.
Not quite.
Not quite. Had a good time anyway. I was humble.
Had a good time with John Roberts.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we're going to try this on the banjo, because why not? Now, I got to tell you, this either stays in the same key, or suddenly I find myself playing parts of it in a different key. And if it does, I hope I find my way back. It is not a song I sing often, nor it is a song I have known all my singing life, because it's on the Weavers at Carnegie Hall, the primordial folk. I'm going to point the way to Sally's cobwebby stuff. It's really cool, but it catches on the rough parts of my skin because I have not been using, oil of Olay, and makes me feel like I have spider webs all over me. There are little tiny rubber spiders on there too. They should have been much bigger to be visible to you, but believe me, they're here. Ugh. This is not my imagination. I have an invisible thread of that white stuff on it. It's one of the most persistent things known to us. We are traveling in the footsteps. This is not a Halloween song, but remember, it's also All Saints' Day. That's what this is about. Of those who come before, and we'll all be reunited on that new and someday shore. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in, and when the sun refused to shine, when the sun refused to shine, well, I want to be in that number. When the sun refused to shine, oh, when the saints go marching, when the saints go marching, oh, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching. other key, and it goes like this. Some say this world of trouble is the only one we need, but I want to be in that number when the new world is revealed. Oh, when the new world is revealed. Oh, when the new world is revealed. Lord, I want to be in that number when the new world is revealed. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Yeah, when the saints go marching in. I want to be in that number when the saints go marching in. When the saints go marching in. I won't promise, but I will suggest that I'll take more time playing the banjo to get some chops on the thing. Banjos are nice.
Well, we have enough of them.
We have enough. I mean, I know that I had a basic $29.95 harmony banjo, and then I kind of inherited one from my father-in-law who had the same thing, but his had a resonator on it. And Sally and I were cleaning up the guest room one day.
I was cleaning the guest room.
I sit corrected. And out comes another banjo case. She says, oh, the case for one of the two harmony banjos. Kind of heavy. Opened it up, and there was the one I was just playing. I think it's a Gretsch, maybe. I've got it too dark in here to read it. And it's the best of the three, so it's the one I play. We'll see.
Wait till we clean the attic.
Luckily, we don't have an attic. We have a crawl space. We may find some raccoon skeletons or something up there. Okay, I'm going to bid thee farewell. What do you suppose, after all of this nonsense, what do you think I would end with of a man of my generation? Eh? Eh? Him. Wrong rhythm. Hang on a minute. There are just so many songs running around in my brain. This'll do. I tried to get Sally to sing the backup parts for this, but no, it's up to you. You, the living. I was working in my lab late one night when my eyes beheld a fearful sight. My monster from his slab began to rise, and then, before my very eyes, he did the mash. He did the monster mash. He did the mash. It was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. It was the monster mash. He did the mash. It caught on in a flash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast. Ghouls came from their humble abodes, all to get a jolt from my electrode. They did the mash. It was the monster mash. They did the mash. It caught on in a flash. They did the mash. It was a graveyard smash. It was the monster mash. The party was how begun. The zombies were having fun. The guest list included Werewolf, Dracula, and his next-door neighbor's second cousin's third husband's son. Every everyone was grooving on the sounds. Igor on the chains with his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were next to arrive with their backup band. The Quick Kicker 5. That's a lot of consonants. Thank you. They did the mash, monster mash. They did the mash. It caught on in a flash. They did the mash. It was the monster mash. They did the mash. It was a graveyard smash. Now from out of his coffin, Drax's voice did ring. Hey, open up! I can't see a thing. He raised the lid and he shook his fist and said, whatever happened to my Transylvanian fist? It's now the mash. It's now the monster mash. It is the mash. It caught on in a flash. It's the mash. It's the monster mash. It's called the mash. It's a graveyard smash. Now everything's cool. Drax in the band. And my monster mash is sweeping the land. For you, the living, this song was meant to. When you knock on the door, tell them Boris sent you. And do the mash, you do the monster mash. You do the mash, it caught on in a flash. The mash, you learn the monster mash. Do the mash, it's a graveyard smash. Mash, it's the monster mash. Do the mash, you'll catch on in a flash. Do the mash, it's the monster mash. Do the mash. It's a graveyard smash, the mash. It's the monster mash, the monster mash. It caught on in the flash. Mash. Yeah. See you next week with songs of light and air and pleasantry so fair.